books that changed the world, and why. What if I told you that the world didn't just change because of wars, presidents, or revolutions, but because someone, somewhere, put pen to paper? This isn't a post about best books of all time. It's about dangerous ideas, the kind that whispered into society's ears and said, "You don't have to live like this." Let's walk through stories of books that didn't just entertain. The Diary of Anne Frank, author Anne Frank. Year 1947. In spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at art. Let that sink in. A 15-year-old girl, hiding in an attic, while Nazis hunted Jews on the streets below, still found the light in humanity. But Anne's diary wasn't just a teenage. It became the face of the Holocaust. Her words humanized history. Politicians, educators, and world leaders began to see victims not as statistics, but as stories. Her diary has been translated into over 70 languages, and every time someone reads it, they remember, genocide doesn't start with bullets, it starts with silence. Things Fall Apart, author Chinua Achebe. Year 1958. You want to talk about flipping the narrative? Achebe didn't just write a novel, he shattered colonial literature from the inside. Until then, Africa had been the dark continent in books, mystical, backward, silent. Achebe said, "No, we had culture, we had complexity, we had voices. You just weren't listening." Things Fall Apart was the first African novel that told the colonized side of the story to the world, and in English. The colonizer's tongue, irony served cold. Today, it's taught in classrooms from Lagos to London to Los Angeles, not just because it's brilliant, but because it rewrote who gets to tell the story. Silent Spring, author Rachel Carson. Year 1962. Before Carson, pesticides were science. After Carson, they were poison. This quiet marine biologist wrote one book that single-handedly birthed the global environmental movement. She revealed how chemicals like DDT were not just killing bugs, but birds, fish, and eventually, us. Governments panicked. Chemical companies tried to discredit her, but she didn't back down. Within 10 years, the US banned DDT, created the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, and inspired eco-activism worldwide. She taught us that the world doesn't need to shout to be powerful. Sometimes, it just needs to whisper truth and hope someone's listening. Uncle Tom's Cabin, author Harriet Beecher Stowe. Year 1852. Abraham Lincoln once called her the little lady who made this big wall. Harriet wasn't a politician. She was a white woman, a teacher, a mother. But she saw slavery for what it was and wrote it into painfully personal stories. Americans couldn't look away. Within a year, it sold over 300,000 copies, shocking even publishers. This wasn't just fiction, this was a moral confrontation. It made Northerners angry, Southerners furious, and it helped stir a nation towards civil war. The Second Sex, author Simone de Beauvoir. Year 1949. One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. This line cracked the foundation of patriarchy in half. De Beauvoir was one of the first to analyze what it meant to be a woman, not biologically, but socially. Her book argued that women weren't inferior by nature, but by design, culturally, politically, economically. It took guts to say that in post-war France, but the book became a feminist manifesto and still is.